Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Now I know what you're thinking. Another day, another internet list. But trust me on this one, folks. Flying, it's not always glamorous, is it? But hey, it doesn't have to be a total nightmare. That's why I'm here to break down the top 10 things you should absolutely never do on a plane. So buckle up, put your tray table in its full upright position, and let's make sure none of us end up as that person on the next flight. Okay, first up, let's talk about smells, specifically your smell. I get it, you want to smell your best, especially after a long flight. But here's the thing, your idea of a fresh scent might send someone else running for the emergency exit. Remember, you're in a confined space, folks. What might seem subtle to you could be a full-blown olfactory assault on your neighbor, so keep it light, keep it fresh, or better yet, skip the fragrance altogether. Nobody wants to be stuck in a flying perfume factory. All right, next up, we're tackling the dreaded mealtime recline. Picture this, you've finally wrestled your tiny tray table into position. The smell of reheated mystery meat fills the air, and just as you're about to dig in, BAM! The person in front of you slams their seat back into your personal space. Not cool, man, not cool. Look, I get it, you paid for the seat, you want to be comfortable, but timing is everything, folks. When the food arrives, it's just common courtesy to keep your seat upright, otherwise you're basically forcing the person behind you to perform a contortionist act just to get a bite of their rubbery chicken. So, do everyone a favor and keep the seat back upright during mealtimes. Alright, let's talk about food, shall we? Specifically the kind of food you bring on board. Look, I'm all for packing snacks, especially with those airline prices. But there's a fine line between a discreet granola bar and unleashing a symphony of smells that would make a garbage disposal blush. We're talking about tuna sandwiches with extra onions, hard-boiled eggs that have seen better days, anything that could clear out a room with a single whiff. So, keep it simple, keep it odor-free, and for the love of all that is holy, leave the stinky tofu at home. Your fellow passengers will thank you. Chapter 4. The Armrest Turf War. Alright, let's talk armrests, shall we? That tiny patch of plastic that separates you from your neighbor and instantly becomes a battleground for personal space. Look, we've all been there, elbow to elbow with a stranger, desperately trying to subtly claim our territory. But here's the thing. There's a right way and a very, very wrong way to handle the armrest situation. The wrong way involves sprawling out, elbows akimbo like you're trying to win a territorial dominance award. The right way, a little bit of courtesy and a whole lot of sharing. Remember, you're not the only one crammed into that sardine can. So share the armrest, folks. Chapter 5, the in-flight concert that nobody signed up for. All right, let's talk about noise, folks. Specifically, the kind of noise that makes you want to reach for the earplugs you forgot to pack. Look, I get it, you love your music, but here's the thing. Not everyone wants to be subjected to your taste in music, especially at 30,000 feet. We're talking about blasting your tunes on speakerphone, having a loud conversation on your phone, or letting your kids watch cartoons at full volume. So be mindful of the volume, keep your conversations private, and for the love of all that is holy, invest in a good pair of headphones. Your fellow passengers will thank you. Chapter 6, the Seat-Kicker Chronicles. All right, folks, let's address the elephant in the room, or rather, the tiny human kicking the back of your seat. Look, kids on planes, they're a special kind of travel challenge. They're full of energy, they've got short attention spans, and sometimes they just can't help but kick the seat in front of them. But here's the thing, as a parent, it's your job to try and wrangle those little feet. Nobody enjoys having their seat used as a personal drum kit for hours on end. Let's try and keep the seat kicking to a minimum, shall we? All right, let's talk about alcohol, folks, specifically the dangers of overindulging at 30,000 feet. Look, I get it. Flying can be stressful. You've got delays, cramped seats, and that guy next to you who insists on narrating the entire in-flight movie. But here's the thing, alcohol hits you differently at altitude. That one little vodka soda can turn into a 3-drink minimum real quick, and nobody wants to be stuck next to a chatty, weepy, or worse, angry drunk for the next few hours. So pace yourself, know your limits, and remember, You're not at an all-inclusive resort. Keep it classy, folks. All right, folks, let's talk about respect, specifically treating the unsung heroes of air travel, the flight attendants, with the respect they deserve. Look, I get it. You're tired, you're cranky, and you just want to get to your destination. But here's the thing. Those flight attendants are there for your safety. They're not your personal servants, and they certainly don't deserve to be treated with disrespect. A little bit of kindness goes a long way, folks. All right, folks, let's talk about the call button, shall we? That little button that seems to hold so much power yet is so often misused. Look, I get it, you need something. Maybe you spilled your tiny tomato juice, maybe your air vent is stuck on full blast, or maybe you just really need another one of those tiny bottles of wine. But here's the thing, the call button shouldn't be your go-to solution for every little inconvenience. So before you press that button, ask yourself, is this a real emergency or can it wait a few minutes? All right, folks, we've made it to the final, and often the most chaotic chapter of our airplane etiquette adventure. The Disembarkment Dash. The plane has touched down, the seatbelt sign has been switched off, and suddenly everyone morphs into a track star, desperate to escape the confines of the aircraft. But here's the thing, rushing off the plane isn't going to get you to your destination any faster. In fact, it usually just creates a bottleneck of grumpy passengers, all vying for the same tiny aisle space. So take a deep breath, relax, and wait your turn. We'll all get there eventually. So there you have it, folks, the 10 things you should never, ever do on a plane. Look, we've all been there, cramped seats, recycled air, and that one guy who seems to think his headphones are actually working. But a little bit of courtesy and consideration can go a long way in making the experience more bearable for everyone involved. Safe travels. And hey, if you enjoyed this guide to airplane etiquette, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more travel tips and tricks, and leave a comment below with your own personal air travel horror stories. We've all got them. Let's share the pain.